Another crazy weekend of college football across the country, and another, straightforward, drama-free weekend for Ohio State specifically. Welcome to the live show. We are at Roosters. We are powered by Tansky Power Sports and brought to you by Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems as well. We have Zach Boren in the house. If you didn't get enough on the beat on Monday morning with a Boren Blitz, we've got more thoughts from him. Bobby Carpenter on my left and Nicole Cox on my immediate right. And I think you said 34.
I said
34-13.
21.
Then you downgraded it, didn't we?
No,
I don't know.
Nope.
I think that's here. You got it. It says 34-16. You got it exactly right. Great job. So it went exactly the way you anticipated, Nicole.
It did. I don't know. I thought we still looked great. I know I was listening to what you guys had to say, and
well, me or Birm, because one of us was more optimistic about it.
I agree with that. It was Birm. For sure. I just thought at the beginning of the season, wasn't Illinois supposed to be decent?
Yeah.
They still are decent.
I mean, they got all the way up to 9th in the country before they got smoked by Indiana. I mean, they beat USC, who just smashed.
You want to know something? They're 4-2, and they've lost against the number 1 team and the number 3 team in the country. Those are the true losses.
Exactly. So I feel very good about this game. I mean, they weren't terrible by any means.
No.
So I thought we played well.
They might be in the playoff when it's all said and done. Like, there's a chance that could go 10-2.
You think they're the 4th Big Ten team?
You have Michigan, USC.
Well, it's not. It's kind of not Michigan. It's going to be
Michigan's out
USC.
now.
Yeah, it's going to be USC, Illinois, and Illinois already beat USC. Illinois could be the 4th team in the playoff, Big Ten team.
That's so I'm looking at that. Like, I'm trying to find
maybe Washington.
Yeah, Washington can maybe battle back, but after you get those top 3 teams, I think Illinois is probably right there leading the pack. I mean, they beat USC, who a lot of people think is one of the better teams.
You put it that way, Bob. Yeah.
And so I think the takeaway then, Bob, would be if you win by 3 touchdowns on the road against that team, or 3 scores.
3 scores.
That's pretty good.
You're up 24-10, or up by 24 with, I don't know, what was that last score? When did that come in?
Like 4 minutes. 4 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm done. And, everybody.
You're already changing the channel at that point, Bob. You're not watching.
The 2 big complaints. Well, what was the other game on that was on in that window that was pretty good?
Missouri and Alabama.
Which I'm watching that. And then after watching Penn State later, I'm thinking, I wonder if James Franklin was watching this game thinking, I wonder if I wish I still had that guy. Well, Bo Perbula, he might not be 6'5", he may not have the rocket arm, but
well, he's definitely wishing for him when Drew Howard was knocked out.
That
for the
dancing
season.
Little sprite seemed to move the ball against Alabama and look pretty good. But the 2 big things, all they do is run it up the middle. I'm like, well, I mean, they had like 276 yards of offense, but they were on short fields the whole time. A lot of the rushing numbers, I think, were deflated because there were a lot of like goal-to-go runs, so a yard or 2 is a good run down there. And then the last piece of the score, like, well, if they just spread it out, and Brett Bielema was like, well, I watched those Patriot-Giants games and spread them out and go fast. I'm like, okay, well, then why didn't you win the game? Yeah. Like, spread them out and go fast. I'm like, they're going to let you take 4 minutes to go score the football if you're up by 24 points, and then they're going to get it back and the game's over. So, and by the way, the 2 touchdowns you had, I give Brett Bielema a lot of he gets the creativity gold star for finding a way to get it in the end
little
zone.
option play was legit.
I watched it, I was like, good for you, bro.
Yeah.
Like, literally, that's all you can say.
He's the first, I think, coach this year, or the first coaching staff, Illinois as a whole. It's like, you know what? We're probably not going to be able to run it straight ahead of Cade McDonald and score. Yeah. Let's find another wrinkle. And they did, so kudos to them for that.
Kudos to them. Can we, if we're giving praise to Brett Bielema, let's rag on him a little bit too.
Okay.
Because I don't know if there's a bigger Bush League head coach in the Big Ten than Brett Bielema with the substitution thing with the defensive line.
Yeah.
Bob, it looked like the defensive linemen, after they'd run 20 half gassers with the pace of speed that they're running out there, and then the guy knows that he's getting subbed out for, and he's the only one on the defensive line in a stance. Everyone else is standing up. The guy that's getting subbed out is in a stance. Guy comes, smacks him on the butt. He looks up, is shocked that he's getting subbed out. Oh, and then he just runs out. I mean, literally, at one point, I think I counted, it was like 13 seconds for the transition to happen, and I'm sitting here like, how is this allowed? Like, there needs to be a time clock on the substitution of, hey, listen, you got, 8 seconds, and in that amount of time, your guys better be in play. Otherwise, guess what? We're letting it go.
I thought there was.
No,
Is there
no.
It's
very
a reasonable amount of time to make an adjustment.
You got a guy that could walk off with a broken leg faster than those guys in the goal. I mean, that's the thing. Like, 10 seconds should be about the max. I mean, to run a substitution with collegiate
That's still a
Division
lot.
I.
That's still a lot of time.
That's what I'm
10
saying.
seconds is a lot of time.
That's plenty. 10 is the most, and the ref should be like, "Hey, come on, big dog,
Yeah.
pick it
Well,
up."
and I think
Like,
it's too
let's-
just like paying attention to what's going on. I think that's
Yeah.
like the lesson our coaches always wanted.
Ryan
us
was
to
not
learn.
happy when that was going on.
No.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing is, when there's a substitution, you always see the refs kind of put their arms out like this. It allows it. Illinois waits until literally the very last second and then runs a guy out there. So not only from the substitution time, it is their seconds taken off, but then the transition between the two, it's Bush League. At the end of the day, it's Bush League. Like, for you to
forced
do
to
that.
call a timeout.
Yeah.
Had to use a timeout. Like,
I think Ohio State had to use it twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It turned into a little bit of an adventure there at Memorial Stadium for Ohio State. And if you're looking for your next adventure, head to Tansky Power Sports. It's your one-stop shop for ATVs, dirt bikes, golf carts, and more. Whether you're looking for speed, power, or versatility, just like Zach Boren, Tansky Power Sports has something for everyone with the best
speed.
brands and expert service. Visit Tansky Power Sports today at 2491 West Dublin Granville Road, or browse their huge selection online at TanskyPowersports.com. Tansky Power Sports, where the adventure begins. And it continues on the road Saturday at Wisconsin, which
it's not.
The Fighting Fickles.
I'm not even sure what to say about it, Bob.
It's not good. And I love Luke. I know Zach. I mean, everybody here is a fan of Luke Fickle, and most people don't. 99% of Ohio State fans are. It's a rough situation up there for him, to say the least. The only thing that gave him a little cover this week was the Penn State situation.
Yeah, look over there.
Yeah, Bob, the one thing I don't get is we both played for Luke. Love Luke to death. Luke is one of the best coaches I have ever had.
Yeah.
Everyone has so much respect for him. The one thing that just seems odd to me is it doesn't seem like Wisconsin is playing very hard for him, right? Like when Luke was at Cincinnati, those guys played so hard for him, right? That's why they were so successful. Even here at Ohio State, man, like the linebacker room, all in the entire defense, when he was defense, like played so hard for Fick. Why are it just seems like they're almost like turning over and giving up, and that I don't
the red
know.
flag.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but man, like that's so unlike a Fickle coach team.
It really is, and that's what's. I think defensively the front seven still looks pretty good, but yeah, offensively they're not there, and like that effort,
Can't even run the football.
Yeah, the tenacity. I know they tried to change, go back to the toughness, the physicality. They've lost some quarterbacks. And you got to remember too, Zach. I mean, this is a different era now with the portal and different things. And I don't like building teams and cultures and maintaining that is more difficult now than ever before. And I'm not positive as to what the insight is to what's going on with it. But it is. I thought at the beginning of the season, even I thought this could be a little tricky game. I didn't think Wisconsin would be great this year, but I figured they'd be a 7-8 win team. And now you're beginning to question even that.
Yeah, we'll get more into that matchup as we roll along, but we got to take some more looks back at the 34-16 win at Illinois for Ohio State with some Roosters Buckeye leaves, which this week,
they're
brought to you by Onion Feathers.
Onion Feathers,
Which are gonna
Appetizer
be
Thursday.
$3 on Appetizer Thursday. What's that sauce called, Bob? I can't quite recall.
It's
The Pluckin sauce.
The Pluckin sauce. It's the best.
That's the real name?
It was, yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought
It was. It still
So
says
Bob
it-
likes to
it
call
still
it
says
It better. We get some changes here and there.
It's
So
good. The Pluckin
it's
sauce
been forever.
is the best.
He sometimes calls it Pluck You sauce, Nicole.
Well,
But it's not.
Pluck
It's
You.
not
definitely
Pluck
that,
You.
So, no, it's definitely not that.
Guys, we're
got-
calling
well-
it the feather sauce now.
Yeah.
It's feather
Oh.
sauce on this new
got,
menu.
got to the bottom of that.
And it'll always be Pluckin sauce to me
Well, that's
because
good.
I've been served it in the stores for 22 years.
It's
Yeah.
legendary. It's got a little bit of kick to it. So
It does.
I mean,
It's so good.
It's fantastic.
I love
Don't
it.
miss it. Any of your participating local Roosters locations will have that for $3 on Appetizer Thursday. And then you can talk about who you want to give your Buckeye leaves to. Then Nicole is going to start, and I think she's probably got 10, 15, 20
I do.
selections. Okay,
I have quite. So as I was watching, I really honed in on the defense. I can only watch one thing going on at a time, guys, or it gets really overwhelming. But I just thought about, especially with everything that's happened at Penn State, like how lucky we are to have Matt Patricia. I mean,
Thank you,
it's
James
just-
Franklin.
it is just, it's incredible. These guys, how hard they play. I know that we allowed a score, in the red zone, but I watching them stop them 3 times in a row was incredible. Just I don't know, and it was bound to happen. Somebody was bound to score on us, in the red zone. But just them fighting to make sure it wasn't going to happen I was just very impressed. So that's who I'm focusing on this week. I just want to give it. And we had, they had 3 forced turnovers too.
Yeah.
I just think they always play so hard and they just look so good out there.
Yeah, it's been really enjoying to watch what Matt Patricia does every single week. Zach, you had a close-up view of it at Memorial Stadium on Saturday.
Oh, you were out there?
Yeah, I was out there. I was out there, Bob.
A lot of intensity there, I'm sure.
Champaign, Illinois is one of the wildest places in the world because you look to the right outside the stadium and you feel like you're in Millersport, Ohio, right? And then you look to the left and you have a little bit of a city of Champaign, and it's wild. The contrast of like one road. I have no idea how they recruit people there. South of call it Illinois, right? I have no idea because you go up to you're like, where am I?
Yeah,
it's a completely different world.
It's not the most scenic place in the Big Ten, but I actually quite enjoyed it.
No. I would assume there's a lot of beer being drank in Champaign, Illinois, because that's probably all you could do.
Definitely did that on Friday as
for
well,
sure.
So.
Jermaine Matthews. I mean,
yes.
yeah.
No, he's coming here to take my guy.
I know. I mean, been a huge fan of him, but we bring up 3 turnovers. He was responsible for 2 of them. The way that he was able to play and change positions, go into the slot, line up against Beatty, who was by far their best player, had a great day. And Bob knows this. When you go from outside corner then inside the box, like especially against a team like Illinois, you better bring your big boy pants on because now you're having to come downhill, make some tackles inside the box, get your nose dirty. It's just completely different. And I thought he played exceptionally on Saturday.
I'm going to go with another guy who, you know what, maybe doesn't get a lot of praise, a lot of acclaim. Like our corners, we haven't talked about them all year because they've really been so good.
Well, there were some DPIs on Saturday.
There was a couple of those, but we really hadn't had any until that point. But I'm going to go with Peyton Pierce coming in. The next Wisconsin, you'll probably see a little bit of it. I don't know what we're going to figure out, going forward, especially Penn State. But we're getting some 3 linebacker sets. He comes in, he spells Sonny, he spells Arvell. They've been rolling him through there. He's a really good player and probably underappreciated. And any other Big Ten school, he'd be starting and probably be like a second-team All Big Ten linebacker.
Yeah. He's a stud.
And he's really good. And for him to get a pick in the game, being in the right place, the right time, I think he had 4 tackles, 1 TFL, played really hard. Great dude. So I'm going to give my guy leave to Peyton Pierce.
I just hope James is rewinding the film when he had the ball in his hands and
terrible.
Peyton, what kind of vision is this? Like they always tell you, find the sidelines. When you're on defense, find the sidelines. And he cuts it up when all of his blockers are outside.
Could have ran that back.
He could have ran it back for sure.
It's his first time.
It's a lot going on. A lot of pressure. It's just exciting.
He reminded me like Bobby Boucher when he had the ball. Like he couldn't even hold it correctly. Just.
Yeah, he'll get there. I mean, I think he's going to get some more opportunities. I think you'll see some more takeaways from this Ohio State defense as Matt Patricia keeps rolling along here. Offensively, I think you just look at the stats and you see some of the frustration from Jeremiah Smith. Oh, it's only 5 catches. And you want to see games where he gets 17 targets and 15 catches. I get that.
Well, he ran 59 plays.
You have limited windows, and then Ohio State also had those short.
Austin, that only happens in video games.
Well, I wish that I was playing a video game with Jeremiah Smith because that's what I would do, and I understand on Saturday why they couldn't. I also
not even that 54 plays. Sorry,
and they were down with good field position because of those turnovers. Like I know that there were limited opportunities, but it's just the flashes when you see him. You do get down in the red zone, and you're looking for a solution. It's like, well, maybe he can just give him man coverage and he's going to just destroy somebody off the line of scrimmage for the easiest fade score of all time. Like maybe do some more of that, but he only needs a couple of those opportunities to change the game. And I know that there's value in decoys and everything else. And maybe the stat sheet would look different if Max Clare and Austin Sarabeld had taken care of one blocker that I think put everyone's hearts in their throat when Jeremiah is getting knocked onto his helmet.
Just ran by him. It's like he had an invisible coat on.
Yeah. So I don't know what happened there, but I want to, even when Jeremiah's stats aren't Heisman worthy for every individual game, I think he's still worthy of that credit for some of the other things he does to enhance the offense.
What's interesting, I like to go back and watch the wrap-up shows just to hear the narratives around it and to see. And, it was very positive surrounding Ohio State. Oh, showed up. There you go. There's touchdowns. There's them playing good defense again, interceptions. And then you're like your requisite Jeremiah Smith touchdown. Like,
Yeah.
oh, runs a
and
fade.
here he
Guy's
is.
2
Yeah.
yards away from him when
breezy.
he catches the ball. And so, like, there's still, I think, that national narrative around him, even though he may not have, like, the crazy best stats around. There'll be some games where has a breakout. I believe that there's probably a couple more pages to the playbook that aren't really being fully explored at this point either.
And I think that's part of I've taken a number of questions about that, about whether Ohio State's tempo and this NFL approach is going to hurt Jeremiah in the Heisman race. And I don't think that it really is, because people, Zach, seem to understand how dominant he is, that he may be the exception, that you don't have to have, Devontae Smith's totals to win the Heisman as a wide receiver, given his reputation.
Well, I just don't think Ohio State needs to roll that out yet. You brought up some more wrinkles in the playbook, so to speak. Like, you look at this year, when have they really needed Jeremiah Smith, right? Hey, Washington, we need a touchdown. What do? Tunnel screen of Jeremiah, touchdown, right? Like, you look at the way Ryan Day, and even I think he's taken a page out of last year's book of the way the season's going to come along. He realizes his team needs to peak come November, December, January. And so you're kind of doing, I don't want to call it methodical, but even the pace of play kind of gives you a snippet of the way Ryan Day's progressing this team. And I think as the year goes on, November hits, you'll start to see the playbook open up. I guarantee you're going to see them use tempo to their advantage at some point. And Jeremiah Smith, he's going to have that monster game, right? 200-something yards receiving. Like, it's coming. They just don't need him yet.
Yeah. Well, maybe they'll use him a little bit more on at Wisconsin on Saturday. Nicole, what are you looking for? What kind of score prediction are you thinking we're going to see against the Badgers?
42-3.
42-3.
I had 42-0, but I'm just going to put the
It's tough to
42.
predict the
42-3.
shutout. Those are hard to come by.
Mm-hmm.
What would you like to see on Saturday, Zach?
Oh, man, I'm just thinking about that score again. If it's 42-3 and they lost 37-0 to Iowa, and that's 3 points in 2 weeks. Oh, boy.
It's going to get
That'll get juicy.
that seed will get a little
what am I looking for? The one thing I would love to see, and I think it's just nitpicking, is I'd love to see some explosive runs. Like, we've seen what Julian Saint can do with the football. For sure they're going to throw it, especially, everyone's saying this was a down week with, 170-something yards of passing offense, right? I would love to see some explosive runs, like break the big one. Get some 30, 40, 50-yard runs. Maybe be a little bit more creative in the run game. Some of those things, just because I hate to say it, I do think you're going to need them against Penn State. I know Penn State's a dumpster fire right now with everything that's going on, but they still have got some really good players, and they're going to come in November 1st wanting to win that football game. So I think you need to make sure the run game, make sure some of this playbook is opening up, so when November 1st hits, you're rock solid.
Yeah, I think we can talk a lot more about that in the second half of the show, but we are going to take a quick break here. Nicole, what's that website if you want to register for the Buckeye giveaway?
www.roosterswings.com.
And you can register every
Every
single
day.
day.
Every day. We still have one more drawing. So
Have you seen the updated count? How many people have registered, Bob?
37 million.
37.
no, that's
Just be
not
glad,
the case.
Nicole, that you're not doing this for Penn State, because I don't know what you would be going to after the season.
Probably the Motor City Bowl.
We are doing it for Penn State, Bob. We just drew those.
No.
If you were giving a Nittany Lions Bowl giveaway,
Got it. Yep.
a lovely trip to Detroit could be in the
I look at it as we will always make something work.
Yeah.
Is there
all
a
the things
chance?
that happened.
Is there a chance they're not bowl eligible? They go to Iowa this week at night, which Kinnick's a hard place to play.
Oh, geez.
for Ethan Grunkemeyer, Powell, Ohio, Old Age, Ohio, first career start. There's a very real chance they lose that bye week. Then Ohio State. Then they still have Indiana at home.
That's a loss.
So there's 3 right there, and you got to win your next 3. I don't know who they're against, but
yeesh,
because they only have 3 wins, right?
They are 3-3.
They're 3-3.
Yep.
So
They didn't even look good in those.
No. So do they become bowl eligible? I don't know.
Huh.
Wow.
Think about that.
I'm gonna think about it, because someone on this panel has been talking about James Franklin being a fraud for 15 years, and now the evidence is undeniable. We're going to talk maybe about some of that. Maybe we'll see if Positive Berm is here.
I think James Franklin stays in the Big Ten, though.
Oh.
Yeah,
Really?
I think he goes to Cincinnati.
No.
Bengals.
No.
Don't ruin Birm's mood with that.
No.
Don't put that evil on the world. All right, we're going to get into Zach's prediction, too, because I must know what is the right Big Ten landing spot for James Franklin so that I can continue to mock him as we move forward. And as we roll along here with the live show at Roosters, brought to you by Tansky Power Sports and Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems. We'll be right back.
Hey, Buckeye fans. As the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics, Roosters is kicking off an incredible giveaway you won't want to miss. This football season, we're giving away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences. 3 drawings, 12 winners with prizes including tickets, sideline passes, and 3 trips to a Buckeye first-round postseason game. Go to roosterswings.com to register and see all the details. 3 drawings, 12 amazing prizes. Register today and every day. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
Precision engineering, rigorous attention to detail. A Bryant Evolution heating system is so well designed, it's as much of a joy to install as it is to use.
Good to go.
Bryant, whatever it takes.
To make sure you and your home stay comfortable, contact Federal Elite Heating and Cooling at federalheating.com.
Welcome back into the live show, and it was promised on Saturday that Positive Birm was going to be on the show
Did
this
I say
week.
positive?
Yes.
Or did I say in a better mood?
No, you
In a
said
better
positive.
mood.
I mean, again, hindsight is 20/20, right? And college football and life in general has a way of quickly providing perspective that maybe things aren't as bad for you as it is for other people. And, I was a little annoyed at the end of the game on Saturday. I admit it. I was
Because it
probably
was 4.5 hours long.
I was probably too harsh. And no, it wasn't about the time of the game. It was the way Ohio State played the game in the second half.
Maybe they were annoyed by how long it took.
Maybe. I mean, it was warm.
So we got to yam those commercials in there, man.
But then you get in the
They
car.
yammed them in.
Get in the car, start the drive home, and you listen to Penn State lose to Northwestern, and then you see.
See, if you could have watched, we were headed up to the Hawks event, and one of our friends was going. 2000 Mr. Football, Jeff Backus. They're celebrating their 25th anniversary of
Speaking of
state
Northwestern,
championship. Speaking of, and he's watching. He's like, "We might win this game." He was so excited, and I'm trying to explain to everybody there. I'm like, because Jeff's like, "We don't have as good of players as them." Like, and it's really not even close.
No.
And I'm watching them.
It's not.
It was another
like-
20-point spread.
It's not like, hey, you're running a slant and the guy fell down, or no, we're going to run inside zone for 6 yards at a time at the end of the game. And then the running back creases it. I'm not going to score.
Beautiful.
I'm going to slide on the one
So
just
smart.
so we can knee it out, which is even worse.
That's
Oh,
Northwestern smart right there.
It really is.
It's what you get. But then you listen to the Oregon game. They look like a
Google
team.
me.
They were
Google me.
super confused. Obviously, Michigan loses that night. You're like, okay, it could be worse. You won by 18 on the road against the number 17 team in the
By
country
18.
in a game that you didn't play very well. So that's encouraging.
Was the game ever in
No, never.
jeopardy?
Never.
That's what I'm saying. Like, everybody's complaining. I'm like, you're sitting there drinking whatever it is, a beverage, and like yelling at the TV. I'm like, we're still 2 scores up.
Yeah, there's such a wide
Three.
Three.
It's never.
there's such a wide
We're
gap
almost always
in-
3 scores.
yeah,
there's
3
such a
scores
wide gap in the way it feels if it's 34-10 versus 34-16 for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I think ultimately I was encouraged by Ryan Day putting the starters back in at the end of the game. I thought that was a good move on his part. Say this is unacceptable. We're not going to do this. I thought that there were certain players who, obviously Cade McDonald continues to be awesome.
Yep, hard to block.
Taiwan Malone played the best game of his career.
One arm. Get over.
That was a hell of a play.
It really was.
So like you start to see these moments, and then there are things to.
I was kind of surprised. Is that Taiwan? Nice.
Well, it wasn't
the
even
light-
it wasn't
the
even a
lights
play at
come
the
on.
goal line. It was there was a play in the second quarter.
That was at the goal line.
No,
Second
in
quarter.
the first quarter. I'm sorry.
He read a screen.
Yeah.
and-
Oh,
First quarter, there was another running play where the guy had a huge hole.
Oh, so we have 3 different plays.
yeah. So I mean, and that he wrangled the guy down to the ground. And if he didn't tackle him, I think it's probably gets out for either a really big play or a touchdown. So he played great. Jermaine Matthews, I know you guys already talked about him, but like the moving inside and then dominating the game the way he did is awesome. Bo Jackson continues to be
10
so much
10
better.
For 49.
But I mean,
Heck.
20 for 41. That's the bigger problem I
Yeah.
have. So that's 20 carries for 41 yards after Bo Jackson left the game with an ankle injury in the third quarter. That is a concern.
Yes.
So like, there's things you look at. Like, I don't want Bo to play this week. I think I would not play him at Wisconsin if there's any doubt. But especially with the off week after. But I think in general, like, it's hard to look at that game and be like, well, we played really, really well, so everything's fine. But at the same time, like, I like when you can improve and have things to fix in a win. That makes a big difference, and especially a comfortable win. Austin, it was actually the perspective that I needed.
I was trying to help.
Came on the notebook on Saturday when Austin said, if you win by 1 point every game, they give you a trophy. If you win by 18 every game, they're going to call you the greatest team of all time. So 18 on the road against a very good Illinois team.
A ranked team, by the way.
Bob, you hit the nail on the head. Everyone is acting like we just played Purdue or, an atrocious Big Ten team. That is a ranked team that in the beginning of the show, Bob and I both agreed could very well be making the college football playoff this year.
They still can.
No, I know. So it's asinine for people to think that an 18-point win there, even when maybe you weren't firing on all cylinders, you still went and won by 18 points.
If Illinois goes out to Washington this week,
if they win, there's
they don't go to Washington this week. Washington's at the Big House.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. I apologize.
They have a bye.
Their next game is at Washington.
Yeah.
If they win out there, they are not going to lose the rest of the season.
No.
The rest of their schedule is cake.
They will be 10-2.
They're going to be 10-2. They're going to have an opportunity to make the Big Ten, to make the playoff, and like that's a good team, and it's a team that understood Ohio State, and they put Ohio State into a position where the Buckeyes had to dink and dunk, which I hate, but like I get why you do it. It's smart football, but at some point I just want to see you take some. I want to see you throw some punches.
Shot to Jeremiah, and like, the ball's moving around a little bit, and that's tough.
I mean, can we just stop? Like, it's a catch, okay? It's a catch.
I would agree with you.
Like, it's a catch. We don't need to keep doing that. Like, eventually, you have to give the ball to the official. Or every play's an incompletion at that point because it left his hand. Well, he had to give it back to the official for the next play. It wasn't in his hand anymore.
Okay.
I'm tired of it.
I think we've taken it a little too far. But Zach had thoughts about the officiating on Saturday too.
Yeah. Oh my God. How many holds did Illinois have that were not called?
Exactly. And Bielema was over there crying. I'm like, dude, one time they're like wrapping around.
Kenyatta got tackled to the ground.
So it's like a thing now where all these NFL scouts put Arvell Reese clips on tape, right? Like on a Sunday or a Monday. And literally I'm watching, he rushed the passer like 3 or 4 times and blew through the offensive tackle, blew through the running back. And every single time they're wrapping him, like have their arms around him. I'm like, how is this not a hold? Caden Curry, I think I held 5 times on Saturday. Literally, there was one time where his back gets to the offensive lineman because the offensive lineman has him spun around so much and is just holding him, and Caden can't get loose.
I call that the Will Smith Award. Who's the guy? Because Will Smith's back like 20. Will Smith Sr., like it was all the time. And it kind of morphed into the John Simon Award, but like it's ridiculous. It's so bad. And I get it. They're not calling it the other way either. They're not calling holds against Ohio State's offensive line either. So I guess I'm fine with that. But like when it's impacting the play and Arvell's in the backfield and Altmaier's able to squirt out and then throw a ball on the sideline to look, I mean, how do they call that a catch when he clearly was out of bounds?
Listen, I'm okay. You let some go and let them play. But when it's
egregious.
When it's that egregious and it's time and time and time again, like at some point you have to call it.
Yep. You just got to be like, hey, don't do that again. We're going to give you 1 penalty here.
I'm surprised you guys didn't know it's been legal to hold Ohio State for at least 15 years. It's in. Bad. Tony Petitti was there. He was saying thumbs up. And you just keep
thumbs up.
You just let him play.
Keep it close.
Yeah, just let's get some playoff vibes here because Penn State has fallen off the side of the world. Is there anything else you felt good about, positive, Birm?
I thought Julian Sam played a pretty good game in the second half. I thought he was a little lacking crispness in the first half. He was a little less accurate than normal. He wasn't as accurate as he's been, but again,
gotta change out the fry.
It is Champaign, Illinois.
I said it on the Letterman Row message boards on Monday. Like when you're comparing it to how he's played, like he's been virtually perfect.
Yeah.
So if he has. There were 2 balls specifically throws to Carnell Tate in the end zone both times, or you're like, you got to give him a shot, and you didn't in those instances. But I thought he bounced back and played a better second half. I like the combination that the Buckeyes are developing with Bo Jackson and C.J. Donaldson. I think that's a fair duo. I think, and it's not to be harsh on anybody, I don't know that James Peoples fits this offense the way it's currently constructed.
Yeah, I thought he ran hard when he came in. Yeah. I thought he's played really hard. He's tried to make some things. I don't know if there was a whole lot there when he got his carries and got his touches, but he's looked better and more explosive and more decisive here in the last couple of weeks when
for
he's
sure.
gotten the ball.
He did. The only thing that, to Birm's point, James Pierpont is obviously not a play in space, make you miss kind of guy. So if you want to be a thick downhill back, Bob, I agree with you. He's been coming downhill and been way more decisive. But when you are a thicker back, you gotta break some tackles, right? You gotta show your toughness. C.J. Donaldson will break a tackle, or two, and it takes two guys to get him down. James Peoples has been a little bit more of that first guy's getting him down, right? So you got to be able to constantly be leaning forward. That's the style of player you want to be.
Yeah, C.J. Donaldson's ability to fall forward into the end zone is why he's continuing to be out there.
Did anyone have a Nate Roberts carry on their bingo card?
I didn't, and
I got pumped.
That's kind of – I know that Zach loves it. You get that fullback back and bringing it back to Ohio State. But
he needs a nickname, like the Cowboy.
The Cowboy.
He needs a name. He's going to be the Cowboy.
He's a Sooner, isn't he? He's from Norman.
He's from Oklahoma, Cowboy.
You just have to spell his name different now. It's lowercase a, lowercase n, lowercase a, capital T-E, right? So it's just
okay.
It's Nate. He's a tight end.
I feel like that's the
joke.
Sort of thing though that has been a little bit frustrating. And the one part that I take out of Saturday more than anything else is like the second half. Taking the foot off the pedal and losing focus, that's the first time that's happened. I don't expect it's not a recurring theme. But red zone efficiency and short yardage success with the run game, I think we've seen that in more than 1 week. And when I'm seeing them hand it to the tight end and getting into 13 and 14 personnel, it's not working. And I don't.
It's making things harder than it needs to be. And the offensive line, multiple times on Saturday. One of them was the Julian Sayin quarterback sneak down inside of the 10.
That was really impressive.
Like Luke Montgomery after that play was so jacked up.
Oh, yeah.
Like
he was
like
he got 4 yards.
Yeah, four yards on it. Yeah,
it's a good run play in the red zone.
I think it was the first touchdown of the day for C.J. Donaldson. Tegra Shabola, a guy who I've been critical of because I don't think he shows enough emotion sometimes, was amped, and it was good to see those things. And that line is really hungry for people to be like, hey, this is a pretty good group. They are unbelievable in pass protection.
Yeah.
It is crazy how good they are. And if we had all those 5 guys in here, you would look at them and be like, this is a mauling, big time
maulers,
road grader type offensive line, but they're actually much, much more adept, it seems, in pass pro, which has been great. I just want Ohio State to use more receivers. I want more guys out there that I don't know. I'm watching other teams, and I'm like, you have USC is a prime example of this on Saturday. They're stretching people sideline to sideline. Ohio State seems to be very content, muddying the picture in the middle of the field. And I don't know that's. I feel like at times I think the offense is trying to put a square peg into a round hole.
Well, I also think it goes back to what we've said
who's getting the peg though.
I mean, that's what I'm trying to figure out. I don't know. It's hard to tell.
Hey,
whatever. It doesn't fit either way.
Yeah.
So.
What we've been talking about though is Ohio State obviously is trying to show a look, and they've done exactly what they need to do. At some point, they are going to go, hey, down on the goal line, spread things out. And as a defense, Bob knows this. You're sitting around what?
We didn't practice.
We didn't practice. They're we've got no information on this. What do they normally do, right? I'm sure you'll see some bunch formation at some point down inside the 10-yard line, right, where all those guys are going to be crisscrossing. They're going to do different things. They just don't need to do it yet, so they don't need to show it.
I do think that's probably part of it. We're just going to keep doing this. You'll have no film on us.
Yes.
And then have fun.
I can understand how that infuriates people who are watching it because it seems like you have a bunch of Lamborghinis, and you're like, you know what? Today we're taking the Escort.
You don't drive those out in the rain, though.
We're taking the Ford Escort out today.
You don't rack your miles.
Bob, you're spot on.
You don't
you don't take those to the grocery store, man.
You're not going to Champagne in the Lambo.
Come on.
It's a valid point. Why
load up the Suburban with 4 tight ends and cruise into town?
Brett Bielema had to use a play that I'm sure that's a 2-point conversion play. Overtime, we've got to find a way to win. They had to use that to get into the end zone. He's like,
from 2 inches away.
From 2 inches away. It's 4th and this much, but if we don't do this, we might not score down here, and then our confidence might be snapped, and we might not score the rest of the
Bob,
game.
and what people don't realize now is now that they showed that look with Beatty at fullback doing that, guess what? They do make it to the college football playoff. There's going to be a team that's going to practice a bunch of goal line looks or short yardage looks when Beatty is at fullback, and now the opportunities are endless, right? So it's something that the defense then can work on, and then you've got communication and checks for whenever that look comes out.
So does that mean, Bob, that we're in a world where where Ohio State could be keeping all of this under wraps until the last weekend in November? Because Penn State is Wisconsin
I think they had like a menu for Penn State. It's like,
but now, like,
do we really need all of the Cheesecake Factory? Let's just go back.
Cheesecake Factory. It was Hyde Park. Now it might be Cheesecake Factory.
We're going back to the MCL specials, buddy. We just go get some pudding.
The worst part for them right now is that they might have to rely on Jim Knowles to help recruit to make sure that these guys stay in the class. And like that's like, ooh,
I don't.
They put Terry Smith as the.
I don't think they're going to be retaining
interim.
The staff.
You don't think so?
Well, here's the thing. Jim Knowles is going to be making $3 million for the next 2 years regardless. There might be someone that wants to keep him. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if a coach came in. But the problem is with him, and this is the thing, they said, like, if you're in a situation where it's a tight game and it's just, you come in there, like, we're losing to – UCLA had Nico Iamaleava. Like, he's a legitimate, really good athlete and could do something special. Northwestern possesses none of those guys. So if you come in at halftime, like, forget 80% of what we're doing. Here's the 3 calls we're running, and we're just going to go beat them up, and we're going to out-physical them, and the game is over now. It's done. Yeah. But Jim Knowles isn't that type of guy. Like, Matt Patricia, that Luke Fickell is that type. Like, all these guys, usually your defensive coordinator is kind of like that. Like, that's not really Jim. And so he's not someone that really, like, has that relationship with players, much to, as Peyton Pierce addressed earlier this week.
Yeah, that was like, eye-opening.
That was quite a quote.
But it's the truth. Like, I think Jim Knowles is a very smart coach.
Yeah, Bob, you're spot on. Like, Matt Patricia against Minnesota, after that first drive, he's like, screw it, we're playing man the rest of the day. Boys, we're lining up and we're going after them. That's it.
You tell him the plan, guys are like, all right. And, like, you talk to him, so you have that relationship. Whereas Jim never really communicates with his players like that, so you don't really have that inherent relationship. Like, bump it. This is what they're doing. We're on to this. You guys got it. Let's go.
But is that the reality of what we're looking at right here with Ryan Day's 16-game approach and the NFLization of Ohio State, Zach, where they're just going to keep this stuff under wraps and try and – I mean, they won by 18. I don't think – I made this clear. I'm not criticizing the way they played on Saturday, but, like, when we're saying could you be – more creative? Could you do this with the offense? Could you throw these wrinkles in the red zone? Like, is all of that now just stockpiled for the playoff or for Michigan?
Yeah, and I think some people might be like, well, that's crazy to think about. But guess what? If you don't need it, why? And I almost think, a part, and I don't know if Ryan Day will ever admit this, and this is just my opinion, I think there was a part of the Michigan game plan last year that what you saw in the playoff, actually they had been practicing on. They just didn't think they need to roll it out. Next you know, you look up, you're like, well, the game got away from us and we lose that game, right? And you're probably going to roll it out against Oregon in the Big Ten championship game and then go on your run. Well, when that doesn't happen, obviously you feel like the whole world's crashing down on you. The way that offensive game plan went out in the playoff was completely different than we had seen all year, right? It's not like they just flipped the switch and do an entire new install in the span of 3 weeks, 2 weeks before that game, right? That's not how it works. So do they have an entire playbook that they haven't even scratched the surface of? Yeah, of course. Now, they're going to figure out when they need to go to it, and I'm sure Ryan Day will be much quicker to go to it than he probably was last year.
I think, but that's the risk when you are in a game where something can get wonky quickly. Yeah. That Michigan game was a prime example that Will Howard gets dinged up, and all of a sudden the offense loses its entire mojo, and then you miss 2 short field goals and you lose. Yep. And so, like, when you have a game like Saturday, and that's what I said after the game, I felt very, very clearly that the Buckeyes could have won that game 51-3 on Saturday, but they could have lost 21-20. And if you played that game the exact same way again, in Illinois doesn't turn it over 3 times, what does that game look like?
Well, they did turn it over 3
I know,
times.
but, like, I'm saying that this was a game
Ohio State caused those.
They did, and that was wonderful to see.
The only thing Ohio State didn't cause was the Illinois punter taking a knee.
I understand, like, there's pressure.
That's the AJ Trapasso.
It's the conversation I wrote about it on Monday, but, like, when every team you play, you are their Super Bowl. Like, if you play the Super Bowl every week, like, it just becomes normal. These other teams, Illinois is playing Ohio State in the Super Bowl for the first time in 8 years, and so Illinois is out there crapping themselves, and Ohio State's like, this is just football for us. We don't make the mistakes that are going to cost us the game. But when you allow your team to be not taking full advantage of all the weapons you have and not taking full advantage of every opportunity you have to score, it's like, I just want to see pedal to the metal sometimes. That's all.
Birm, just want to go fast.
That's all. I
want to go
want
fast.
to get in that
like you
Lambo and run, man.
I get it. You know what I want? You know what I'd like to see is my man Joe Toby Maguire. We got to get some more net yardage on.
He needs to bang it.
You think a little bit more than 37 yards per punt?
Yes, that 37-yard of the first. I'm like, oh, this is not. We got to get more. We need to be hitting that thing 50 and netting like 45.
Yeah. I think
Jim Tressel would be very disappointed in that.
I just don't know how it's possible that Ohio State can't find a punter that can get the ball off his foot and hit it 45 yards.
What's Trapp doing?
Taking a knee, Zach said.
Who knows? That happened at playoff game. I think his junior senior year. There's got to be a punter in Ohio, right? That can drop it and bang it.
You'd like to think so.
I don't know. They're looking all over the world.
Finding one in Australia.
Looking in Australia. Maybe that pipeline has run dry.
I think it has. I believe that there was a criminal case or something in Pro Kick Australia that.
Oh, really?
Oh, that's right. There was.
Yeah, I don't think that's allowed anymore.
Oh, well, that's unfortunate.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Okay, so we want to see some more red zone success.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to see punts.
Lamborghinis. He wants to see big punts.
I want. What do I want to see out of the Wisconsin game?
Yes.
I want to see Ohio State win 45-0.
Is that your score prediction?
Wisconsin should not score against Ohio State. They have
They
nothing.
didn't score against
They're pretty
Iowa.
bad.
They are terrible.
Okay.
And
It's at home though.
Kudos to them. Well, so was Saturday.
Yeah.
Kudos to them.
Iowa went to Wisconsin.
Oh, I thought that was in
No,
Iowa.
no,
Oh,
that was the worst. That was the worst part of that scenario.
Kudos to the Wisconsin admin for giving
Bob, and
Luke
I'm pretty
the extension
sure
ahead of this season.
Was it a night game?
No.
3:30. It had to be 3:30.
Yeah.
Kudos. They gave him an extension before the season. I think Luke must feel fairly secure that he's going to keep his job. They gave him an extension through 2032 before this season, when every single person in the country who follows college football looked at their schedule and went, well, this is going to be a really bad year for Wisconsin.
Maybe they can get to 4-8. And
maybe.
That was assuming that they could beat Iowa at home and not lose by 37.
And they just gave they gave Luke an extension to 2032. So, I mean, I guess if he gets fired, good for them, I guess. But, now you got to pay him a lot more money. So, Wisconsin should not. This is where I'm like, Ryan's just so nice to people that he likes. Is he?
He doesn't really have any relationship with Luke.
Yeah, but I think
it's respect.
It's a respect.
Yeah,
he understands. Luke
it.
is not Brett Bielema having guys run on and off, then complaining when we're trying to block your punt, and then how you're playing hard at the end still. Yeah. There's none of that stuff.
Doesn't have that Shiano gene.
Yeah, there's not that edge like, hey, you guys are still going hard on us. Well, yeah, because you're trying to block our punts and trying to do crazy stuff. You're jogging guys on and off the field, and Bielema going back to South Carolina, you're doing the fake, all this stuff. And there's no bravado there. And Luke is an Ohio State guy. He coached here. He's got a national championship.
Ryan understands that.
Yes.
Wisconsin's bad, but they also lead the Big Ten in rushing defense. So it is an interesting opponent for Ohio State.
Do they still after Saturday?
They could throw it.
I don't know, but
we could probably throw it for 500.
I just think that Ohio State, another game averaging under 3 yards a carry, you have to figure this out.
Here's the other thing, though. 2 weeks ago, the Wisconsin team didn't put up that bad of a fight against Michigan in the Big House.
Yeah.
Now,
however,
it got stretched at the end.
Yeah, it got stretched at the end. No doubt.
No. They did not put up a fight. They were terrible. Michigan just is.
Are you just saying Michigan's
I'm just
terrible?
saying Michigan. The style of play that Michigan has allows that game to look close. That game was not anywhere.
I think it was within one score.
It was
within one score. Yeah, 14-7 for a while.
I understand what I'm saying. Michigan was
okay,
fine.
well, don't dance around it. Just say that Michigan sucks.
I'm saying Michigan, the style of play. I'm not going to say that because Ohio State has to go there in a month and a half. So the style of play that Michigan has lets a game like that stay close because they don't
fair enough
push. It wasn't Wisconsin keeping it close.
Yeah,
Michigan. Also, their offense is inefficient. They have a true freshman quarterback. There's a lot of things that they have to work on, but that wasn't because Wisconsin.
It was 17-7 going into the fourth quarter.
That was not
there
Wisconsin keeping it close. That was Michigan keeping it close.
There was another team on the field.
Man, prove it.
Okay.
Yes, I can.
Yeah. Okay.
What do you think will happen, Zach? What do you got? You got a score prediction for Saturday?
Yeah, I do. This is really bad to say. I want Wisconsin to score points because I just feel like if they get shut out again, if they get shut out again, Luke
44 and a half is the
no 27. Oh, 44. 27 and a half is the spread. I saw this morning.
Yeah, Vegas apparently thinks Wisconsin is going to score.
Yeah.
I just feel like they need to score. If Luke gets shut out back-to-back weeks, he's probably fired. I hate to say it. That probably happens.
But then you guys can go on a Christmas vacation together.
Stop it. I feel like this game's going to play somewhere like the 45 to 6. Yeah.
So you're taking the over.
Miss,
Ohio State, the under for these two teams, both these teams
not miss extra point.
2 and 4.
I think 2 field goals.
Or 4 and 2 and the under for both of these two.
It's funny because Ryan's got a lot of like Tress never did that to people that he respected. I mean, he would start cutting it at like you start touching 35, 38, 42. It's like, all right, we don't need to put a 5 up there.
Right.
I
think they hit that in the 30 mark maybe before halftime or
I think it's pretty quick. I think it's 42-6.
Yeah.
And I think the 6 is probably because you're playing a lot of young guys.
I've had this vibe about 38-6 all season. I keep saying it every week.
This might be the time.
38-6. Well, that's the over under just below.
That's under.
So,
yeah.
He just learned how to take the point spread and the over under
and combine it together.
Yeah, and try and be smart. With it.
He's learning a lot.
Because normally Vegas is very spot on.
Give me 38-7 and take the over by a half a point.
There he goes.
Well, you know what the over under was on Saturday, right?
I don't know, something like 41 or 42.
50.5.
Yeah, we missed it by a half. Yeah,
it's a half point.
Missed it by that much.
He was right there.
Yeah.
Ohio State covered though, which
well,
is
they missed it. They missed
went for 2. Bielema knew what he was doing. He was dirty.
I think that's a great strategy. You just go across the border because you couldn't bet on Illinois if you were there. Yeah. And he's like, let's boost our NIL by betting on the over every week.
No, under. Well, he bet on the under.
Wow,
so that's why he said we're going for 2 and we're going to call it pass play.
We're going to miss it?
Yeah, we're going to miss it. We're hitting the under.
Okay, well, that's even smarter.
Yeah.
Kudos to Brett Bielema for that. And for everyone at Memorial Stadium. I thought it was a great experience. Did you like it there, Zach? Better than when you were a player? No wind on Saturday morning.
Better when I was a player for sure. The weather was way better than when I was a player. But it's just weird. It's a little bit of a weird place. Actually, the exterior is super cool. The all brick.
It looks a lot like Soldier Field. I mean,
yeah, it does. It looks like Soldier Field. Just inside, there's not much to it. It's kind of weird from that standpoint.
It's a classic college football stadium. Like when you think about the difference between the NFL and college, like that's a college football stadium. And then Ohio Stadium doesn't always feel like a college stadium.
Buckeyes.
Yeah.
Red Grange, the galloping ghost.
They could the wind does whip it wasn't very windy, but there were times like you could feel the wind there. It's just because both ends are like completely wide open. It almost feels like a large high school stadium from that standpoint. Now, what's it hold? 50? 60? Maybe?
I couldn't count.
I don't know what they said the attendance was. They said it was sold out.
I tried to count. It was I lost count somewhere like 29,000.
That's unfortunate. The only count that ultimately mattered was 34-16. Ohio State, Bob, they're bowl eligible. They're 6-0. Zach made sure to point that out on Monday morning on the beat on the Austin Birm Show.
So now, Nicole, they can pay off on the Roosters bowl.
There we go. They're going somewhere. And I think they're quite on track for the college football playoff. We'll see if they can move to 7-0.
You think they're playing in the Rose Bowl?
Well, they're still – if
you got to beat Indiana, Coach.
That'll be up to the Big Ten championship game.
That's why I asked.
They are contractually locked in still for this year.
Yeah, so do you think they're going to the Rose Bowl?
I think they are the best team in the Big Ten.
Okay.
Indiana, by the way, I don't want to continue this show. I was trying to wrap it up. Everyone that's trying to say the Hoosiers are now the number 1 team in the country seems to have a pretty short memory about what Indiana itself did against Iowa or its game against Old Dominion.
You want to know something? I hope they are. Because I guarantee you Ryan Day will use that if they play the Big Ten championship game. He will run that thing up on 6.
I don't think Cincinnati wants to be number 1.
No.
Kind of goes
he does not.
Thing the underdog.
He does not, but I hope they are.
Anyway, that was a true digression to wrap up here on the live show. It is brought to you by the fine folks at Roosters. We've been on Henderson Road for the last couple months. I think we're going to be back on Olentangy very soon, so stick around and stay tuned for that. There's questions. And
can I ask one more question before this is over with?
Yeah.
If it is Indiana and Ohio State, I think we should meet halfway like Springfield High School. Play the Big Ten championship game there.
You don't want it to
you can't go to Indianapolis. Like, come on. That's 45 minutes from campus.
It's a home game.
Yeah, it's a home game for them. Like, come on, we got to meet somewhere.
Let's
go to the Glass
home game against Ohio State for the last 100 years has been an Ohio State home game, so it's fine.
Is it the Glass Bowl in Toledo? Let's meet there.
That might be vacant if
You got some Jason Candle thoughts you want to share? Okay, fair enough. Sorry. Great. Thanks to Tansky Power Sports and Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems as well for helping bring you the live show. Don't forget, on Appetizer Thursday, you've got some onion feathers with that pluck and sauce. You don't want to miss it. I will be back right here next Monday for the live show. We'll be talking about what Ohio State does at Wisconsin at Camp Randall Stadium. Can't wait for it. Thanks to Zach Boren, Bobby Carpenter, Nicole Cox, Jeremy Birmingham. I'm Austin Ward. Have a great week.